Back to the old school methods, Super Mario 63, Special Edition. Well met, boys and ladies, Jacob Rosen, and welcome to the Special Edition of Super Mario 63 Special for two reasons. One, because I have had 63 subscribers for a while now, and I wanted to do this because obviously, why wouldn't I play my favorite game that's 63 in the time of 63 subscribers? Why indeed? And second, it is special because this version of Super Mario 63, as you can tell, is slightly different. So, you see, first of all, I can't click on it. There you are. So first of all, there are no text marks over here. Normally when you try to run through the tutorial, it would display a text there to say to read this sign. Luckily I know to do that. Also, it would tell you to press Z in order to actually read that sign, even though it would say on that board. However, in this version, you press up. As you can see, Z, X, and C aren't even yet added to the controls bar. They do work for all purposes except for sign reading. So Z is ground pound, X is spin, and C is flood. But, as you can see, this is not quite the version that we all know and love. And the reason for that is that this is a downloaded version of Super Mario 63. It is quite different. So attacking it by pressing. Oh, so it's actually got fonts. I've played this for a while now because I tried recording this before and had a problem with the audio device or something. You know, one of those very, very appalling excuses that EasyVid gives sometimes when it can't be bothered to program something. Speaking of not programming something, as you can tell, there are no cheat sheets programmed at all. So there's obviously different things that you can see in this downloaded version that aren't quite as it's seen before. And my guess is that this version is one that they released before the Newgrounds edition, or at least this was the Newgrounds edition before it got updated. But for some reason the downloaded version hasn't. I'm not quite sure, but what I will say is that I've been playing Super Mario 63 for more than the time that I've been doing it on YouTube, because it's my favourite game and I knew it beforehand. As you can tell, I've been playing it for a while, even back in 2013. It's actually been 4 years and 1 month since my first episode of Super Mario 63 playing through. In fact, well, as I said back then, there was a bit of what I called a time gap. What I actually meant was a loss of time. And it was due to the fact that, I don't know, I just lost the footage, which is what's happened again today. So I'm trying to keep this nice and short and simple. I'm going to go up to Dark World, well, the Dark World. As you can tell, there's no toads here either. I'm going to go up to the Dark World and I'm going to show you why that's basically possible in a short amount of time. And hopefully this video shouldn't be too long, because as you know, I don't like making videos longer than about one. Oh no, don't do that to me. Okay, so lost a bit of time there. One thing that I will say is that the controls are slightly worse in this one because problems. During the last playthrough, I had to press. Well, Mario was constantly either moving to the right or to the left without me being able to stop it, much like I sometimes was doing in Minecraft. And he would at one point start spinning, which would cut off jumps in the air, which means I couldn't actually use flood properly. So I don't know if that was just me or if that's the actual controls. And I'm being called, so I've got to 1 second. And I am back from dinner. Apologies. As you can tell, I haven't edited out my cut or anything. I'm going back to the old editing style, the classic Super Mario 63 good old days, when all my videos were done in pretty much one take with that generic intro at the beginning without, you know, the templates or anything like that. You know, it's kind of nice to return to the old system sometimes. So, let's see. So obviously we can... Why did exit level do this one? Oh no, it just doesn't do anything. Because you see, I've checked on this area, and actually it's quite interesting. There's a sling star there. And, well, that's obviously still locked. want to know what's down that cannon. I've been wondering for about 6 years now, or 7. I don't even know. I've been playing this game 7, 8 years. I don't know. Well, this was clearly one of the version from 8 years ago. Maybe this was one of the prototypes before I got to one of the updates, because this was still on the web by the time that I got to it first. Because I have played this before once, but I've played this before way back in the day while I was still in Spain, still probably 10, 11 years old. I came across this. I have no idea where, not downloaded, but I came across this more or less version, and I was pretty much just as confused as I am now. I mean, look at this. There's no point to any of that. I mean, there is to some of the stuff up here. It's quite nice to see that you can actually go onto the castle. I do like that. It's kind of a touching addition. And then there's this sling star, and that's basically it. While I was having the spinning issue, I kept on falling on that sling star, and it would send me automatically upwards. So yes, this way you've got another sign, which so the controls jump, walk, and dive. And of course, in the pool to the right, there are no Cheep Cheeps because they apparently haven't been invented yet. And so, well, that's interesting. So as you go into the castle, you can tell that the entire aesthetic has changed. These doors you can actually go through, but it's more difficult. The doors on the far side are both open. However, there is a problem with the pyramid, as I will demonstrate right now. On the pyramid, obviously, Emperor Euskonidai is not invented, but his gaming curse apparently is, because you can't actually enter this. I've tried, and there is no way. I mean, you can't even go to one of the sides or anything like that. Interestingly enough, this one isn't called the Shifting Sandland, it's called the Sinking Sandland. Just found that mildly interesting. One thing that is constant is that, is this world here, the battle against King Bond. That's completely standard, apart from, the whole Goombas and Bond being enemy rivals and the star coins being collected, as you're about to see, without any notification, which, by the way, is the best part of this, because the notifications are quite annoying, I must say. I have kind of lost my train of thought right there. I just went on one of my rambles and then I forgot to finish the sentence. Oh yes, one thing that hasn't changed is the music. Yes, that's right. That's what I was going to say. The music in this entire game is exactly the same. All the levels have got their assigned music, which I'm surprised they've actually never got sued for infringing copyright or anything like that, because as we know, Nintendo is quite protective over their intellectual properties, so to speak. So it's interesting to see that they got away with this, because I didn't know at the time, but this is a fan game. For a fan game, it's very well developed. I didn't realise that Nintendo never released anything online. I was quite naive at the time. The only console I ever had is the Wii, which admittedly is owned by Nintendo. I understand, but then again, I didn't have much knowledge of that kind of thing at the time. So as a result, I didn't really realise. But now that I do know, I've come to appreciate how well developed this is as a fan game, and I could see this actually being on some sort of console. I mean, obviously it won't be, because then Nintendo will be copying some other people, and they'll need some credit, but as in them, I mean Run Out, of course. We of course never get any mention nowadays, because the only Toad that ever mentions them is not present, because there are no Toads yet. I've noticed also that I think those cannonballs go a bit faster. So just beware of that if you ever download this version. To download this version, you just have to go to Super Mario 63 download. That's the only thing that it ever said. Whoa, Falling Koopa. that was a close one. No spinning hearts, unfortunately. That would have been most helpful, but because in the first playthrough that I did of this today, I wasn't very good at dodging these things. So as a result, it wasn't very effective. The King Bomb is actually exactly the same as you'd expect. He's the actual boss that you would normally get, which is very nice. I actually have been to Peach's Garden as well. That's an open space, so you don't actually have to unlock 10 Shine Sprites to get there. I'll go and show you later. There's nothing there. Oh dear. Oh no. Oh, I'm glad he didn't jump that far away. I haven't been grabbed like that and thrown at him for a long time. Okay, hope that doesn't happen again. Oh, okay. I have to be facing the opposite direction or something. He's using more varied attacks this time. I find it's actually harder to beat him in this version. Maybe because, I don't know, maybe it's because I haven't done it for a while, maybe because I'm out of practice, or I am not really sure. But whatever it is, it's Sniper hits. Okay, this is interesting. Why? I always found it very ironic that his weakness is his own people. And his strength is his crown, which is also completely immortal. Just as it is in the latest version, so I don't really mind about that. Right, and off we go. You'll notice something in a moment, and that is that there is no option to save at all. It appears that the save option was not yet included. I'm actually not really sure. But speaking of things that aren't included, behold this amazing. Oh wait, no, I need one more Shine Sprite to do so. I need to go back here quickly. I'll show you in a moment things that aren't created yet. You will. It's very, very interesting to see. Okay, I need that. I never quite understand how I end up exactly underneath the clouds when I do that. But whatever it is, it's nice that I do. So the Island of the Skies has also seen some changes since the updates. As I'll show you. Well, okay, that bird is okay. As you can see, the star coin there is right in the middle. There is no wind, none at all, until you get further to this place, this side here. Apparently, there's wind developed over there. Yep, there's wind. But I don't know, for some reason the wind wasn't developed over there. Obviously, there's no star to give you the wings or whatever. It's interesting that it's the only star that's not developed over there. Maybe that's why the game developers put those 3 stars up there, so that they could actually test them. Never really thought it, but yes, this is essentially an alpha/beta edition. I'm sure that they were still testing things at this point. I will briefly go and show you the star coin door over here. There is nothing. The level designer is not yet included. The star coin prizes are not. Up there is another star coin. There's no point in me going to try and fetch it. The secret passageway is fully functional. The Peach's secret passage of secretism. What's it? This has nothing, because Castle Secret Stars, apart from that one up there, are pretty much non-existent. So this door is locked. I need 5 Shine Sprites. Oh, okay. So we need 5 shine sprites instead of 10. That actually makes a lot more sense than, you know, in the later version. And also something else that I like better than the later version. This design, the aesthetic of the castle, I think is way better. I like the darker tone that they gave it at the beginning of the updated version. But all in all, I think that actually the castle itself looks a lot better. Oh dear. That's the first time I've gone up there without using flood in quite a while. So yeah, it's a shame that they didn't keep that. And I do like a lot of the changes that have happened. Like for example, that life over there is more rewarding when it's a star coin. I must say, a lot more so. This part has always been equally as tedious. Oh no. Yes, thank you. Seems like the bombs are on my side. At least for the time being. I'm not too concerned about collecting lives here or doing anything fancy. Because, to be honest, that's not what I precisely came here to do. I came here just to make sure that I can get all the shine sprites and go to the Dark World. I haven't actually seen anything beyond the Dark World yet in this version. Although what I have seen is an absolute, utter gem, which is the Snowman Land. Take a look at this. This and this and this. 4 out of 5 shine sprites are in plain sight and ripe for the picking. So let's just go ahead and get some of those in, you know. The only one that, well actually no, Chief Chili's shine sprite is there, and in fact his platform is also present. As I keep collecting these shine sprites, I'll make sure to go and show what those places are like. Obviously there's the Snowman. The Snowman is currently being developed and you can actually stand on his head in this version, which I really like. I don't know, it's just interesting that some of the primitive features, I wish that there'd be a way to combine those, to be honest. I mean, if anyone's able to combine those, the aspects that work better in this game with the ones that work better in the updated version of the same game, then I'd be down for that. Oh well, back to the matter at hand. This is the Snowman, or that was the Snowman. In fact, well, I mean, I'll show you the prototype of where Chief Chili's will eventually be. Oh yeah, as you can see, the penguins are both glitchy and incorporeal in this version. You don't actually bounce off them or do anything. You can't actually interact with them in the slightest. So here is Chief Chili's platform. Whoa, okay. Oh, great. Okay, well, that's the way to get out of there. No Chief Chili, but still the blue lava is there. Which is interesting they did it that way around. Also, these platform sizes, I don't think you even get in the level designer nowadays. Although I must say that, look at that. Look at that. Very nice. So you can see that the different tiles and items versions that you can find in said level designer of the future are present in this version. But I'm sure that the level designer wasn't even being worked on at this point because honestly the story bit is far more important in terms of how the game works. I think the first time that I ever played Super Mario 63 was the level designer, and then I found out it had the story, and then I became instantly hooked to it afterwards. So when I first found it, I didn't think that much of it, but now I do. That's just the way that the world turns out, to be honest. And let's go over into here. Let's see if we can get the Ice Block Maze one now. Okay, so if you go in there, you don't do anything. You have to actually enter somewhere. Oh wait, no. You do. You just have to find the right place. And this is about where I got the spinning glitch. So, well, actually, it was in the one-up mushroom place, but whatever. And you have to try and get the unrendered, the unrendered place in order to actually get to it. But whatever. So, yeah, so you actually need the flood, but then obviously the spinning thing would cut off the flood. So that's why that didn't work. Alright, well that's that. So now there's just one last thing that I'm gonna do. At least for now. I might do a part 2 if there's more to this. I'll explore a bit and then see what I find. But now I'm gonna show you actually that, you know, the floods are clearly, you can see them here. Which is nice. You can have the quality there. Options, you can't actually turn off the music, so I've had to pause my entire sound, which might be why the audio capturing device failed the first time. I'm not entirely sure. Controls, you still got the Wiimote using the mouse only thing, that was very interesting. You just have to move him about and actually, I'm not even going to get into that. Don't use that method. It controls very crazily. I don't even know how you activate flood. Oh, you probably just do it normally. Anyhow, the other thing I need to show you is the star map. The stars are unnamed, but as you can see, these are the polygons from course 1, the bomb battlefield. These are the ones that I haven't got. Then there's more down there, but you can't actually see any further down. So the new displays of 9, which is very interesting. So clearly that part wasn't developed. When I first played this, this version, I was quite disappointed. I mean, my child mind didn't process the fact that this was an earlier version. This was a alpha or beta, so to speak. I didn't even know that those terms existed in video games. I was quite naive to the whole video game culture, because like I said, I don't own any consoles. The only video games that I really played were computer games like this, and updates were pretty rare to me. I don't think that any of the games that I got, apart from this one, really updated. And this one in particular hasn't actually updated in quite a long time. I mean, it's been around for 8 years, and the last update that we got was probably about 6 years ago, 5 maybe. So needless to say, it stayed the same for quite a long time. So yeah, that's why my child brain didn't quite process that. So I may not give them run out the credit that they deserved for this one. I think I was quite annoyed at the time and quite stressed out, because for some reason I couldn't use the other version that I normally do. Oh dear. Oh no. No, not here. Ah. Oh. Well. That's interesting. I don't normally die like that. I don't normally die in here, to be honest. But yes. That was that. Let's pretend that never actually happened. Dun -dun. I came to expect the game to be the same all the time. Like that trick, for example, of waiting for the thwomp to stay there. I can just as easily jump on it, but back when I was bad at the game, or not as good at least, I would always I would always do that just to make sure that I didn't fall off and everything was in order. And while I was having the spinning trouble, it was actually a good challenge, and I still did that same technique. So some of my gaming styles haven't changed for a good half decade or more. Oh great, but clearly the controls of this game have. Alright, I guess we'll probably see if you stand on a corner you end up jumping again. I'm not even sure. Nice, the evil elevator thing is still there. Although actually, one thing that I think may be worth mentioning is the fact that, you know, the fonts, there are none. Well, there's one. Apart from the bomb sign at the very beginning, the first level, the tutorial. Sorry, why am I not speaking right now? Yes, in the tutorial there's pretty fonted signs, but I guess that's minor details that you should probably, as a game developer, work on later, which makes sense. This is why Runout did this. In fact, actually, now I realise that back when I was first playing this is the first Mario game that I probably got into, apart from some other very old retro-style computer games of the same nature. Oh, so Bowser's here. Oh, I forgot to read that. What the heck? Okay, well, alright then, Bowser. Oh, he does that on the first level now. Interesting. Oh well, his combat style doesn't change. Sorry, so actually what I'm basically saying is that for a long time I thought that Runout was the creator of Mario. Yep, I was that naive. Is there anything beyond these things? No, they're actually placed closer together. Obviously drawn differently, but still, more or less the same. Oh dear. Great. Nice. Oh yeah, and of course his lines aren't in the traditional style that I then copied briefly with Camtasia. And apparently there's no tutorial number 2 or anything. I guess that's that. The positions of the locked doors have clearly changed. So yes, there's the Hazy Maze Cave. At least level 11 shines bright this time. Secret of the Sky is up there. No hidden door around here. And I think actually there's a very, very nice other course down there that was later removed, which I really want to show off. And I wish I could tell you the music as well, because they did a cool thing with the music. Whatever. I'm going to leave it here, actually, because I've rambled on for long enough. I'm going to do a second part. I'm going to record that right now, actually. So, yeah, so thanks for enjoying the special edition. Thanks, everyone, for 63 subscribers as well. I know that's not any defined milestone or anything, but I thought that it's a nice number to round off on the Super Mario 63 franchise. Well, franchise, what am I talking about? No, the Super Mario 63 gaming genre that I've got going on. You know, the whole custom, the tradition, basically. Tradition is what I'm trying to think. That's the word I was trying to say. So yes, I appreciate all of that. And thank you very much for all of the support, especially for this series, which does extremely well, which I love because it's my favourite game of all time. And I will see you then. Until next time, farewell.